Good morning, fifth graders. This is Mrs. Kelzer. And this morning I would like you to do a little more work with writing inequalities to match real life situations or real world situations. So let's go ahead and read the first situation on your paper. Paperback books cost $2 at the local bookstore's book sale. You go to the book sale with $15. You have no more than that to spend. So what I'd like you to do now is push pause, reread the story to yourself, and then go ahead and circle or underline, whichever you choose, the important information. So again, hit pause, reread the problem, and circle the important information. Alrighty, well, hopefully you have your important information underlined or circled. Let's take a look together. Paperback books cost $2 at the local bookstore's book sale. So that is important. Each book is $2. The other thing that's important is you have $15 to spend, no more than that. No more than that. So now I want you to think about what's the part you don't know, because we have to identify and define our variable. So as you read the problem, what's the part you go, yeah, but I don't know this, or have an idea in your head? If you're still thinking, push pause. Right? Are you wondering, well, how many books I buy? That's the part I don't know. How many books? So we need to assign a variable for that. Decide on a letter, and it's kind of up to you, but I would probably use B for books. And now go ahead, now that you know B is going to equal the number of books. Okay, why don't you go ahead and write what you believe your inequality to be. So push pause, write your inequality, and then check back with me. Alrighty, do you have your inequality? Let's check it out. How many books are you going to get? Well, you're not sure. That would be B. How much does each book cost? $2. So how do you write that? You're going to buy B books, and each book is going to be $2. Perhaps you did B times 2, which would be fine. Excuse me. Or let's think about what would be a more efficient way or another way to write that. 2B. Right? Now, what about the cost of your books? Because 2B is the total cost. And now we go back up to our story and it says that you have no more than $15 to spend, which means the cost of the books has to be no more than $15. So 2B, could that be equal to 12? Could it be equal to 14? Would 15 be okay? How about 17? Look at your inequality symbol that you picked. Are you happy with it? Do you need to push pause and make a change? All right, so the cost of the books is 2B, and that needs to be less than or equal to $15 because you have no more than $15. So this cost over here has to be either less than 15 or it could be equal to 15. So there we go. And now we'll try number 2. Okay, let's read the second problem. Cooper is selling hats and umbrellas at a fair. Hats cost $7 and umbrellas cost $9. Cooper is trying to make at least $315. Apparently enough to buy a plane ticket to Florida. Why don't you go ahead, hit pause, reread the story to yourself, and circle what you believe the most important information to be. And then you can check back with me. All right, did you reread the problem and have you underlined or circled your important information? Let's see if we match. Let's see here. Cooper is selling hats and umbrellas, and the hats are $7 each. The umbrellas are $9 each. Did you get that? And then the other important piece of information is here. Information is that Cooper wants to make at least $315. Do you suppose he would be happy if he made 500? Or even 350? I think so. But the goal is at least 315. So if he made 220, he'd be pretty unhappy with that. He would not have met his goal. Alrighty, so at this time I would push pause and I want you to think about what are your variables, the parts that you don't know. And did you notice Mrs. Keller said the parts with an S on the end? In other words, there are two pieces of information you are missing. So hit pause and identify and define your variables. All right, are you wondering how many hats Cooper sold? Right, because that would be one of your variables. Let's maybe call that H, and you could pick a different letter if you wanted. And then the other thing that we don't know or the is umbrellas. How many umbrellas? And I'm just going to go with you. That would be the number of umbrellas. Oh my writing today is a little troubled. Number of umbrellas. So now we're ready to write our inequality, but let's just think for a second here. He's going to have hats and he's going to have umbrellas, and we're going to need to put those total amounts together. So think about how much will he make on hats. How will you write that? It's $7 for each hat, and he's buying H hats, or rather selling H hats. And it's $9 for each umbrella, and he's selling you umbrellas. Okay, so how will you write those two amounts, and then how will you show that you're putting them together? Go ahead and do that. If you need to, you can push pause. And now you need to think about the other side of your inequality, which is the at least $315. So the amount that he is selling, $7 for each hat, 7H, plus $9 for each umbrella. Okay, that is how much he's going to sell. And he wants this amount right here to be at least $315. At least. Which symbol is that? Would he be happy if those two amounts equaled $300? Because that's a little less. Would he be happy if those two amounts together equaled exactly 315? How about if they equaled 320 or 350? Okay. And again, if you need to push pause, do so. All right, did you go with that these two amounts here, 7H plus 9U, need to be greater than or equal to 315? All right, nice job. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this up.